Hey everyone, welcome.
Yeah, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are very excited. I call it basically sending this out to you as our customers and interested parties about ExpressLane. So we'll be presenting today, and what we really want to do is kind of introduce you to our solution and what's available, so you have a tool to work with or work against some competitors out there to get advantage in the market. So I first want to introduce myself. I'm Joe Molish. I'm the VP of Customer Success for Get My Parking. Uh, Quick overview of the customer success program. Our job is to work hand in hand with you as the operator to help you expand your operations by winning deals and using the Get My Parking solution as your solution and marketing that solution to your clients. We have a pre-sales department that will help you through this entire process from proposal to winning the deal to go live. We walk hand in hand, and then afterwards we will work with you weekly basis to make sure the operation goes well. Brick, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. Brick Frazier, Director of Customer Success. Been in parking for quite a long time, have a mixed background of parking operations and parking technology. Some of you I probably already know and looking forward to meeting new people.
Thanks, Brick. And I didn't do a good introduction to myself. So I've been in the parking business for 34 years. I have worked for Tiba, Amano, and Flowbird on the hardware side, and then as an operator for 20 years with Central Parking Systems. So excited to be part of the team. The other part of our group today, which we're on a webinar, so they can't introduce themselves, but we have Chris Walters. He's part of our team, and then also Mandy Alonso. She works in the Atlanta market, and then Chris covers the West Coast and clients throughout the U.S. This is one of our pictures of us in India recently, and with our founder Shirag Jain.
So today, what we are going to go over with you, I know Joe said we're going to start a series of these webinars today. Just to start at the beginning, a brief overview of what ExpressLane is, how it works for gated and gateless facilities, some required hardware for ExpressLane, and then also some regional support that you can have access to as well. Now, what ExpressLane is this is our AI automated parking system that would replace your traditional ticketing parks equipment. And how it works is when a vehicle arrives at your express lane facility, the cameras capture the license plate, the gate opens, it automatically creates a parking session. This will apply to any valid permits if there are validations or reservations assigned to those license plates. Then when the vehicle goes to exit, our AI matches the session and it will automatically deduct a payment if it's a transient parker, or it will validate that they are a permitted parker or they've received a validation or if they have a reservation. So the idea is for all of this to happen prior to their exit. So their exit is just as fast as their entry. And ExpressLane acts as the system of record, linking physical movement with a digital parking activity. And two different kinds of users that will interact with ExpressLane. Number one would be the registered user. Think of this as someone who either already has a permit or downloaded an app and they use your facility frequently. This is a very simple process for that registered user. They pull up to the entry, the gate automatically opens, the cameras read their license plate and start their session based on their user credential. And then when they leave the facility, it's the same. The gate opens when the camera reads their license plate and validates their session. Now, for a guest user, you don't choose the journey that they take to pay for their session. We have multiple options for them to pay for their session. And what that looks like is at their entry, the gate automatically opens and creates a session in the cloud based on their license plate. So there's no ticket for them to pull at the entry. And when they're inside the facility, they can scan a QR code and claim their session and add a method of payment. Then when they reach the exit, it will finalize their payment based on the duration that they stayed at the facility. Now, let's say that the parker did nothing while they were parked in the facility. They didn't scan a QR code, they didn't download the app. When they get to the exit, our digital display will notify them the total that is due for the amount of time that they stayed. And at that point, they can tap or swipe their card, or they can tap their phone for a digital wallet payment as well. So you're essentially giving them multiple options to pay and not forcing them to pay on their phone. Joe?
Oh, yeah, thanks, Brett. Yeah, so pretty straightforward as far as what we offer on the ExpressLane configuration. We have a gated solution and we have a gateless solution. Every environment's different. Every operator is different in how they look at it. I know everyone on here probably knows there's a lot of regulation going on with the enforcement side. So sometimes maybe when you evaluate whether it's gated or gateless, you have to understand the dynamics of regulations in the market you're in and what's best for the site. I always tell clients that if it's a 2,000 space garage and you're doing 3,500 cars a day, I would do a gateless solution so you're not chasing the revenue. But on a a gated solution. But on a gateless solution, I mean, if it's a low turnover, mostly monthly, it may warrant that solution because it's a little more cost effective. Differences, some minor differences. One, the gated offers tap to pay or a payment at the kiosk. Gateless is a mobile pay only. And then from the difference of it, the gated has physical gates. The gateless is enforcement only. So you with gated, you get the money at the exit and you collect it afterwards on the gateless. The biggest differentiator of ExpressLane is one that we are hardware or asset light. This means that it's a very inexpensive CapEx or no CapEx if you decide to go that route. And when you compare the other players in the market, it's a significant difference in implementing a system. What's good about our system? It's simple. Very few components needed. Most of our parts are agnostic. We have a camera, LPR camera, that we recommend. We recommend an IO controller in every gate. A gate that's agnostic. It can be a competitor's gate or it can be a magnetic gate or an ELCA gate, but any gate would work as long as it's operational. A Nook, which is a small server that's used to batch the data from the LPR and make that lightning fast at the entry exit lanes. The POS is Adian we use. There's other credit card processors we can work with, but Adian is the most efficient. That's to process payments. And then the last one's a kiosk for ExpressLanes. The kiosk is where you interface for payments. So you want to go into another slide, I'll talk about that brick a little bit. So from the customer interface or display exit side, we have a couple options. One, I call it kind of a centerpiece because I have a lot of pride in saying it is the Lamasa Tech display, because it's a 21-inch display, stainless steel, with a dynamic sign where you can post rates, messages. It has an intuitive menu that walks the customer through the transaction as they're pulling up in the lane. And then, of course, the payment processing happens all on the kiosk. The pedestal is more for the tap and pay or a monthly only type solution, or what we call our low cost solutions, where you have a low budget and you just want to go in and convert over TIBA or a mono site. You just go in with the tap and pay on a pedestal, and it's an easy conversion where we take over the platform. The popular thing that's growing and I'm really have a lot of pride in saying it because I was just in a install this week with Ava. Ava, which stands for Agentic Virtual Assistant, is our AI support that runs off our intercom as our intercom service. One thing that we do and we talk to clients about is, I know a lot of people do with call centers. We're not in the call center competition business. We provide Ava to one, help the customer through the transaction at the kiosk exit for our system and reduce the number of intercom calls. We've seen up to 75% reduction of intercom calls with Ava handling a call. Why? Because Ava is integrated as the database. So Ava knows the monthly parkers, they know the validations, and they control that process. We have several recordings of live situations where Ava has walked someone through, or convinced them to pay the transaction when they didn't want to pay. So very user or customer enhanced option that is only a flat rate per lane and not a per call basis. So it's something that we would love if down the road to do a demo if any of you are interested in that. You want to go on the next slide, Britt? Well, this is always my favorite slide. So the common operator issues solved by ExpressLane, or I say the headaches that operators face, and how we address these common challenges. One, long queues at entry exit. Eliminating a queue at entry exit is a stress reliever for an operator. So we average about 1.5 seconds for a transaction lane, maybe and then 3 seconds for a payment transaction. So it's very fast. If someone's using a mobile, it's about 1.5. We do have videos that we can send the link if you request that information down the road, but it is don't transfer over well on this webinar. The other thing is the manual ticket handling. I know in this market, tickets have been part of the business, but it is not needed. It's a cost that, especially for a large facility, that adds up over time. And our credential we use as a license plate, so it eliminates the lost ticket issues that have. It eliminates a majority of the intercom calls because you don't have to worry about the ticket. And then permit access, in and out, easy access with the permit, but you can also go on the app and you can buy a parking permit on the app and be active in the system immediately after going on the app. And the last thing is our validation tracking. We will be doing future seminars with this. This is the first of many, and we'll go over our validation tracking, probably one of the most robust in the market. There's about 8 different options of validating that all are trackable and auditable on our system, which allows operators to be very flexible in what they implement and how they implement. My favorite, which we just implemented, was we have a tablet at the customer's front desk that you come up, you put your phone number in it, and it texts the validation directly to the customer, and they go to the exit and scan the QR. So the overall, the key thing here, is it reduces the manual intervention and improves the flow of throughput at your facility. You want to go to the next slide?
All right. Now, in addition to everything that we've talked about for on the user side, accessing an ExpressLane facility, ExpressLane is supported by many tools that help you as the operator manage the facility and create a better user experience. So first, our customer support module. This provides support for the parkers, including session lookups and issue resolution. Capacity Manager allows you to track occupancy and help manage parking availability. So you can actually see the occupancy inside of your facility based on different permit groups, how many transients are in there. If there are certain thresholds you're trying to keep certain groups to, Capacity Manager is that tool that helps you accomplish that. And Partner Portal. This is used by tenants or businesses to manage validations. And we also have our Get My Parking Service Center. This is where you would submit a ticket if you had a system issue or an escalation, or if there was an item, a feature you were looking to request. This is where you would submit that information. GMP IQ is your access to real-time reports and analytics for your different facilities. And then my personal opinion, the star of the show, lane activity. If you've been in the lane, deploying an operation, a gated facility, lane activity, learning to use this with our product team and deploying ExpressLane is really a game changer for an operations team to have access to this information. You can see your your vehicles exiting, and when there's issues, you can actually resolve those issues in real time with lane activity. And then regional support. So for on-site and hardware related needs, we have installers around the country in different regions that do help our partners source the purchase of the hardware that Joe went over, and also installing the hardware to prepare you for an ExpressLane go live. What they'll also help you with is service calls, support on that hardware moving forward. And a lot of our partners are very familiar with our software. The longer that we've had these relationships, so they've been able to help with all sorts of use cases that come up with these new Express Lane locations. And then to tie it all together, the human touch that you get with our team is our key account management team, and they are your day-to-day support. They're your primary point of contact. They handle any questions you have. They coordinate new location deployments, help you manage support tickets. This is all done through regular check-ins, weekly, bi-weekly check-ins. Even when you're not deploying new facilities, we help you manage the facilities that you currently have. And then we can ramp up that communication for specifically for new deployments that are coming up. And this is all just to keep consistent support for the operators and faster response times. And here they are, the people behind all the magic.
So we want to open up for questions. You can put those questions in, and we can answer those as they pop up. Um, Feel free to ask anything related to the system. As you're doing that, we'll give a few minutes.
We've got some
Okay,
questions here.
fantastic.
So for Gateless, who would you recommend acting as the enforcement provider? Does GMP handle that or someone else?
I'll take a stab at that, Brick. And if I we do not do enforcement ourselves. We do integrate and provide an API where we pass the payment of the plate to the enforcement company. However, there's several we work with. Pave is a big one we use. Park Loyalty we've used here lately. PRRS we use in certain markets. But we're agnostic on that, so we kind of look at that in a regional basis. That if there's someone that's good in that region, we will just do an API and share that information with them.
Yeah, those couldn't have answered it any better myself. I got another one here. Is there an option for the AI help to go to a call center if it isn't able to resolve the customer's issue?
You want to answer that, Brick?
Yeah, so there's a couple options with Ava. So she is programmed to understand if somebody is frustrated. She can escalate the call if somebody is pushing back. And let's say it's during normal operation business hours, you can have that call routed to an operations manager's phone, where they can take over that call. And then if necessary, they can vend the gate from their phone by pressing a key on their phone. But also, if it's after hours, it can be pushed to a call center if you would like it to.
Yeah, let me add a little more to that because we just finished a successful installation in Chicago. We do integrate with some of the major players of the call centers. Parker is one, so we have a full integration on the screen where it can be sent over to Parker. What's good about Ava is Ava one, it learns for each transaction it deals with to handle the customer better. It also listens in once it transfers to the call center, listens in on the call and how it can respond better to the next call to prevent it from being transferred. The one thing I just learned recently, Ava works off of the motions of the call. So, which is good because if someone's not cooperating, it senses that, and it usually is very tactful and professional in getting the payment done. Or if they've seen that someone's a wreck, like they just got fired from their job and they're about ready to drive their car off the bridge, then Ava will be sympathetic and maybe even help them in that situation. But you train Ava however you want to train Ava to be. The site we just work with, after 45 seconds of being in the lane, they want the gate to go up. The other thing about the AI it is multilingual. So we tell it what to do, and it will respond back in Spanish, Mandarin, Chinese, Arabic, very quickly. And it's not something you have to train or pay extra for. It's part of the service.
So, Joe, you just answered one of the next questions, which was,
Okay.
is Ava bilingual?
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
so another question, what happens if the license plate is unreadable due to it being dirty or covered by snow?
Yes. So this is something that we, in designing the system, understand it happens. No camera is 100% perfect. So, our cameras read between 95 and 96%. However, we have AI built into our LPR module, our software, and AI will identify the vehicle. It doesn't look at the plate; it looks at the vehicle and does facial recognition of that vehicle. What type of car? Does it have any bumper stickers on the car? The model of the car. It looks at that and then it matches up that image with the entrance image to say, okay, this car is the same image and does a match. We still do human intervention where we have in our support center someone that looks at it. The AI will answer the thing and they'll confirm it's right, and then they'll do it. This all usually happens either within a few minutes after entry or not. So the other ways of doing this, there's two other ways. One, you if you download the app in the system, you would open the app up and you would scan the QR, and the QR would then grant you access and let you out of the facility. The last option would be it does a pre-authorization, kind of like if you're at the gas station nowadays, and you decide what you want to do, if it's 99 cents or whatever you want to do, or the first hour of parking. And then once the AI matches up the plate, it automatically takes the pre-auth off, and they don't charge anything for a monthly, or if it's a transient, they apply the time stayed at the facility. So it's very versatile in handling non-plate reads.
All right, I've got one kind of a two-pronged question here, Joe. What if the internet or power goes out?
Yeah, so if the internet goes out, we are a cloud-based system. We are working on two solutions. We have one. We recommend a cradle point for a fail-safe and having another internet service there. We also are working on securing a 4G light and installing machines where it would kick over to modem to keep the system running. The only process with this is that you would not be able to add new parkers or validations if that would happen. And we're assuming it wouldn't be a frequent, but we do have a redundancy plan set into that.
All right. Well, Joe, I think that's all we have. Is there anything else that you want to add before we go here? I've put our
No,
contact information up here on the screen.
feel free to scan our QR codes there. And if you have other questions, we can send videos of some of the locations we have. We can send some live interactions with Ava. You see, we also, which we love doing as our team, is we can put together a quote so you can see the difference in the pricing compared to everyone else. So I guess our request is let us be part of that conversation when you're looking at equipment at your facility, so that you can see the difference in that, because it's definitely a different viewpoint in parks compared to the traditional parks, because there's a participation and partnership in this. We want, as a customer success team, we want you to take our brand and make it your brand. You'll never see Get My Parking on our exit devices. We want to represent you and be your technology platform. So, and with that being said, that's all I have to say. I really appreciate everyone's time, and we look forward to the next one, and we'll keep everyone informed as we go forward.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you.